government class. In today's government class, we'll be looking at some of the disadvantages of an unwritten constitution. Unwritten constitution has some demerits, some shortcomings, or some limitations, and we'll be looking at that in the course of this class. First, emergence of dictatorship. Unwritten constitution has the possibility of encouraging dictatorship and arbitrary government in a country. So, because the constitution is not clearly stated out, and not everybody knows it. It's just not everybody can say this is the constitution. It's just something that is known among some people and it can have various interpretations along the line. So emergence of dictatorship and arbitrary government is very possible because one person can assume power because of the fact that the laws, the rules, the customs, the conventions are not clearly stated out. They are just known among some people. So because of this, dictatorship and arbitrary government is very possible in countries where they operate unwritten constitutions. Absence of easy reference. It is a form of constitution which does not give room for easy references to major portion of the law by the people when the need arises. So people cannot reverence the law because it is not clearly written, it's not clearly stated out. So there is absence of easy reference because of the fact that a major proportion of the law cannot be accessed by the people. So they do not know when their rights are being infringed on, and they do not know the process of seeking redress. So because they cannot point back to this thing that the constitution says that when this so and so happens, or when this thing happens, I have the right to do this. So because of absence of easy reference, is one of the disadvantages of an unwritten constitution. Violation of rights. Due to the fact that the laws, rules, and regulations are not documented, many citizens may not be aware of their rights, which may be violated. And this is similar to what I said earlier. The fact that they cannot, point back to a certain document that the Constitution says, they are not equally aware of their rights may be violated without their knowledge, and they may not even know the process of seeking redress when their rights are violated. So violation of rights is one of the disadvantages of an unwritten constitution. Absence of simplicity. Although unwritten constitution is flexible, yet it lacks some simplicity due to the absence of documentation, thereby causing a kind of ambiguity in its interpretation and understanding. And I made mention of this earlier in the process of explaining the previous points. Absence of simplicity, the fact that it's just something that everybody knows. Everybody could give interpretation to it in their own way, and they could modify it. They could modify it to suit their needs, to suit their situations. So absence of simplicity can lead to different interpretations and understanding of the constitution, and this is another disadvantage of an unwritten constitution. An unwritten constitution is unsuitable for some systems of government. Unwritten constitution may not be suitable for certain political arrangements and systems of government, especially a federal system of government. So an unwritten constitution will not be suitable for a federal system of government because in a federal system of government, there is high tendency for people to, because of the differences, because of most countries that operate federal system of government have lots of differences in language, in ethnicity, and many other aspects of life. They need to have a written constitution so that the minority group can go back to the constitution and know their rights, and they do not have fear of the majority group dominating them. So we need a written constitution that everybody can see and refer back to. Another advantage of an unwritten constitution is absence of stability. An unwritten constitution is a type of constitution which often encourages political, economic, and social instability, especially in large countries, because there is no effective and reliable reference to the constitution for the purpose of taking vital decisions. In constitution, there is no effective and reliable reference to the constitution for the purpose of taking vital decisions. So because people cannot say go back to the constitution when they want to take vital decisions, it causes political, economic, and social instability especially in large countries. Another disadvantage of an unwritten constitution is absence of wider awareness. Due to the fact that larger proportion of the constitution are not documented, the people may not be aware of certain provisions of the law, thereby creating lack of knowledge of the political system, their rights and obligations. Because people are not aware of the provisions of the law, it creates lack of knowledge in the political system, and the people themselves are not aware of their rights and obligations. Unconstitutional acts. Unwritten constitution does not give room to determine and react against certain unconstitutional actions of the government and political officers in the country. So another disadvantage of an unwritten constitution is it does not give room to be able to determine and react against certain unconstitutional actions of government and political officers in the country, because the people themselves are not aware of their rights. With this, we've come to the end of this class. In the course of this class, we looked at some of the disadvantages of an unwritten constitution, and we talked about the fact that it could encourage emergence of dictatorship. There is absence of easy reference, violation of rights, it's unsuitable for some systems of government. There is absence of wider awareness of the laws, of the provisions of the law. There is absence of stability, and it gives room for unconstitutional acts. With this, we've come to the end of the class, and I hope to see you at the next class.